The raid that baited the entire Destiny community is a double entendre that can be summed up by one season. Meet Season of Opulence, a popular 3 months of a grindy hellfuck in Destiny 2, which introduced some new activities like the Tribute Hall, a sort of secret bad juju mission, treasure hunts, and the activity nobody stops praising, the Menagerie. And of course, later that week was, same day, there was a brand new raid, Crown of Sorrow. And yeah, we got a lot to cover with this one. This is a juicy day one story and just overall raid with some details like day one grind, our first contest raid, and an absolute jebait of an ending. I know that somewhat spoils the climax of the whole entire raid, but it's the title of the video, so this was your choice, not mine. Anyways, Crown of Sorrows, let's get into it. Here we go. Some footage in this video is from players around the community. Their links will be in the description of this video, as well as music too. A huge thank you to 150,000 subscribers. Guys, on to the next milestone. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe we can hit 200k by the end of this year. I think it's possible. Let's do it. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to show you this incredible piece of merch that has been in the works for months now. Are you ready? Here we go. Meet See You Soon, a Japanese manga inkblot stylized piece of merch inspired by all 4 Leviathan raid bosses inside of Destiny 2. I would have included every retiring raid here like Scourge of the Past, but 5 bosses in one piece plus mini Insurrection Primes are coming in Beyond Light, so Insurrection didn't make the cut. So let's get back to the piece. Aside from the incredible piece of work that Nogi-san did with this one, seriously an incredibly talented artist, we are working with a small company you may have heard of, Champion. Yes, you heard me. Don't ask how this collab happened, but it did, and I am beyond ecstatic. There are a couple of catches to it too, and one which I'm going to need your help with more than anything. So catch number 1. The red coloring on the merch will only be available for the Champion merch, which will run for 2 weeks from this video going live. So you have 14 days from today's date of November 2nd all the way until November 16th to cop this piece of merch. So please do not miss your chance. I should also mention that regular black and white will be up at any time for you guys if you wanted to check it out, and it'll be available in an assortment of colors as well as some prints and some other goodies. I love giving back to you guys in some ways, and I think merch is a cool way because you guys get something from supporting the channel, so we both get something. It's like a win-win. Anyway guys, if you do want to consider picking up a piece of merch either from the Champion or the regular black and white, hit the links in the description or click one of the panels that takes you directly to the Teespring shop where you can check it out. Remember, 14 days, and if you guys go crazy on this one, you can fully expect some more collaborations with Nogi in the future. Thank you guys for listening, and on to the video. Day 1 of Season of Opulence can be summed up by one word: fatigue. I don't mean this for normal players, I mean this for the day 1 raider. For the normal player, it was sweet. Hop into treasure hunts, get some new legendaries, hop into Menagerie for the chance at some cool new loot to upgrade your chalice and get more loot combinations, you know, Destiny stuff. It's everything Destiny rewards should be: experimenting, that mysterious feeling of what's out there, and a fun grindable system of loot that keeps players interested while still focusing on what they want to grind. Now that's great for the normal player and all, but let's talk about the day 1 raid racer, aka my dumbass, on June 4th of 2019. Prep sheets, min-maxing, speed, and efficiency were all in the forefront of what needed to be done. Every single powerful had to be done in a certain order, and everyone was following Sweatsicle's prep sheet and day 1 checklist to get them done. If this wasn't clear to you by now, this meant all 3 characters, every single powerful. So all of this shit on all 3 characters in 6 hours before the raid. Yeah, I'm not joking, man. Save bounties, run Shatter Throne 3 times, run forges, ascendant challenges, Xur bounties, anything you name that has a powerful reward, you are doing it in this 6-hour time crunch. Menagerie was your ticket in, but the levels to be ready for our first ever contest raid was set to keep players no higher than 720 power, with the final boss being a 740. Keeping players from being overleveled like Scourge of the Past, but still not so underleveled where only 2 teams finished like Last Wish. So now that everyone was fatigued going into day 1, how would players find that second wind? Only a challenge worthy of a crown would keep the motivation intact. Well, that and a raid belt, a 24-hour emblem, and a guaranteed exotic for the world's first team would keep that in check too. So let's officially meet our raid, Crown of Sorrow.
Let's get it.
I have commander.
4.
Which
Yes,
is
you
ritual begins.
Immune.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever we can.
All right. All right. So swap every round. Be very observant on the callouts. Let's go. Step on. Go.
Yeah. There you go. Perfect.
Ready? 3,
I think
2,
we do want to
1,
bring
go.
all 6 people to the center every time, just for the sake of.
Well, assuming people don't die, yeah.
If everything goes right, that's what we do.
Yeah, and
That's
we
what
need
we
to
should be doing.
We really need to play around not dying.
Correct.
The stage has been set, and with thousands of people gathering to watch what was going to happen in Bungie's latest raid, the raiders were just relieved to even be in the raid. I want to stress that this raid was really the most fair Bungie had made a raid up to this point. Yes, it came out the same day as the DLC, but contest was to make you underleveled per encounter and was to make the enemies harder to deal with. You gotta remember, it's not just the level with contest. You feel the aggression from enemies a bit more. Everything seemingly hits you harder than just being underleveled too. Side note, Bungie, please make contest mode available at any time just for fun's sake, since contest is the best way to experience these raids for a challenge every time. Thank you. I digress now. The raid started back where the initiation quest was, in the Menagerie. Players would notice some lore in our first encounter, some immune knights. So let's really just meet the first encounter, the lamp lighting. The encounter that teaches mechanics of the whole raid. So listen up! 3 people step in the green pool, they get buffed with Witch's Blessing on a timer, the other 3 don't have it. Certain enemies are blessed and need blessed teammates to kill them, and the other 3 players are not blessed and need to kill the non-blessed adds. Then there's these crystals which need a buff and a non-buff to break them, because if you don't, you die. And then there's 2 ogres on part 2 of each round. 1 blessed, 1 not blessed. So just coordinate. Do this a whole 4 rounds and swap buffs with the cauldron in the middle, because if you don't, you die! On day 1, this was all about managing in groups of 2 and using auto-loading mountaintops to take out knights. Seriously, good luck if you don't have this gun for the raid. It was going to be tough without it for sure. Teams were able to finish this one pretty quickly though.
Good. Lantern. Yeah.
Just focus. Do not die. Play your life here.
Yeah. Get to middle. Get to middle. We're gonna swap here in a second.
Everybody mid.
Come to the middle. We're good.
All right, we did it. We did it. Nice.
Jumping.
Finish ads. Finish ads. Finish knights.
I almost.
I think there's a knight. There's a knight right. Knight right. Yep.
I'm reloading.
Left dead.
Careful, sir.
Knight right.
Alright, what are we
Nothing.
missing? Kill everything.
Should be it. Let's go.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, baby! Whew.
We got it. Good shit, guys.
Let's go.
On the other side. In the middle.
GG.
This encounter is cool the first time, but the encounter past the first time is really just a drag. Doing 4 rounds is way too long and makes me have this type of reaction. Dude, stop jumping! Seriously, I fall asleep doing this one. All right, now for Piston Palooza. It's a jumping puzzle. We move on now. Gahlran. Okay, fine. I'll talk about it. Since you just needed to know how people hit the spacebar or pressed A, this jumping puzzle used the same mechanics with the crystals as before, but this time some of them had shields on the crystals, so people needed to jump in. If you didn't break them in time, the floor gave out underneath you, and if you had a mountaintop, you could just shoot the very top of the bubbles. Same with Xenophage now, but none of this was intended. Also, if you're a speedrunner, you could have just done this. But on day one, it was all about sticking in twos again. I think you're catching on to this raid now, and the mechanic is really just peanut butter with the buff and jelly without it. So both together make a masterpiece. Now for the ultimate question in the comments. Chunky or smooth peanut butter? Which one is better? We've been trying to figure this one out for decades now. Anyways, collect your loot, grab the lore, and get ready to meet the deception.
Oh my f***ing god.
What the shit?
This is insane.
Or is there like something we can stand on? Oh,
This is, look in the, yeah.
No, it started. It started.
Oh,
Boy.
shit. Okay.
Oh, it's deception.
It's literally the #1 rule of Twitch. Don't die forehead. Just don't die. Yeah. So kill the ads crazy quick and don't die.
Oh
Instead.
my god.
Oh gosh.
Whoa.
Oh god.
Oh,
I see
know
why.
where all the space on console went there.
The Hobbit dragon's about to run through here, dude. Holy shit.
This is probably boss room.
I'm jumping down. I'm jumping down.
Yeah.
Okay, so look for surroundings, look for things to shoot.
Smog, dude.
Look
I
for
just
things
see
to
a bunch
shoot.
of loot. There's just
Change
a
back to
bunch
well.
of-
Change back to well if you change.
Oh shit.
It's Amber, dude.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you can shoot his hand. Shoot his hand.
Shoot his hand, shoot
You
his
can
hand.
You can shoot everything. You can shoot everything.
There's a rally right here. Rally.
This room is the final one for this raid, and for the first time in a while, you really feel the depth of the Leviathan. Mountains of gold as far as the eye can see, buried callous treasures, and one possessed-looking bather made up the final room. This is Gahlran's deception, and the reason Gahlran is even here, lore time, is Callus and Savathun baiting this dude into wearing the crown. Savathun was like, Callus, my boy, this crown? You look pretty good in it. And Callus is like, hey, I hear you, but what if I just raise a bather to wear the crown knowing damn well what will happen? I ain't falling for this shit, but this dude's whole purpose in life will be to get baited, and years later, I'll ask some titan that looks like this dude to deal with it.
Hi, how are you?
Alright, lore time over. Now for the encounter itself. Each side is divided into threes, and players need to split into twos to either deal with blessed and non-blessed ending with an ogre, none of that but no deception, or having this unit chase you down in Destiny physics. What is that? After doing 2 full rotations, you had to break the deception shield the same way as the rest of the raid. Blessed and non-blessed need to punch him together. This created a small window of damage opportunity, and the key was to have people do multiple breaks against him for a larger DPS phase. I like this idea a ton because more damage gets done over time, and you needed to coordinate who broke when and have someone bait deception out early so the puncher didn't lose a life. Now, you can stick an anarchy on him for a long tick, which will continue to break his shield if you maintain buff, and sort of in one phase, but on day one, oh boy.
Yeah. There's no swords. Yeah, I need Gloria.
Over on me.
We got a constant right
We
here.
don't have a buff.
Is that the same 3, yeah?
That was my best as well.
Yeah, no heavy. That's really unfortunate.
This was the check for a lot of teams racing, and you'd better have a mountaintop on day 1 or you probably weren't making it past this. Anyways, if you somehow did...
Melee. Okay, just someone else melee.
I got second. DBS.
Well,
Get your well run. I don't have my roll.
I have healing rift.
I'm just gonna tether. Come on. Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just stay calm next time, guys.
Yeah.
We're good. Let's keep going.
It's just...
Here he is. Go in. Break him. He's on me. Break him. You want to risk me? He's on me. I need somebody with a buff. Get out.
We got it. We got it. Damage.
Damage. Go. Get a well. Put a well down.
Nuke him.
Let's go. Get ready for another
I got
break.
blessing, so I could go in.
Break.
Go in.
Go in.
Kill him.
Nice job, guys.
Good shit, man.
Oh
Good
my
shit.
god. Okay. Pay attention. Okay, we're done.
Oh,
Chest.
Dude, I thought we choked it. I literally took my hands off the keyboard and mouse.
I don't have it. I have it.
Somebody melee with me?
Me and Punch.
We both have it. We need somebody else.
Someone else, non.
I'm there. Go.
I'll go second. I'm going second.
Okay,
Alright, good. Somebody go with me now.
I'm there.
Go.
Yes!
Let's go, boys.
Nice.
Go. Just over here.
Yep.
Now, it was time to meet the real Gahlran.
This is gonna be the boss.
Oh,
This is
no.
definitely yeah, this is the boss.
Oh.
Holy shit.
It's right there.
Alright,
Hey, big boy.
Not leaving.
In the middle, the witches thing.
There's 3 of them.
Oh shit.
Deception. Okay.
Fake and real again, I
I'm
guess.
sure that's exactly how that's meant to go.
Yeah.
As long as you stay on top of your night, like seriously, I know I keep repeating this point, but as long as we stay on top of the ads, there's so much more room. Pay attention to the mechanics.
For activities.
This is where day 1 really heats up. With most of the expected teams making it here, how would the first contest final boss in Destiny history go down? A little something like this.
Yeah. Can't get that. That's not the boss anymore.
30 seconds.
White thing.
Try it. But his shield is still on. Shield probably has to be down. Can we damage the boss at all?
Is this damage go? Yeah, what?
There's a guy on. There's a crystal and a guy on a.
Yeah, we're gonna fight.
Reset.
We have to do all 3 and then start damage. Okay.
Kill us.
Oh. Right. Okay. My bad. I.
Seriously, if Deception was the check for most teams on day 1, Gahlran took it to the next level. One of the coolest looking bosses to date in all of Destiny, Gahlran came with some interesting encounter design. Open environment fights, little to no cover, and a raining hell circus all around. This boss had it all. Quick explanation time. The goal was all about load management. Kill knights, avoid Gahlran attacks, swap buffs with teammates on all 3 sides, since this time the room was now fully open, unlike Deception, and deal with crystals. Oh yeah, so after the 3 crystals have rotated, Gahlran summoned 2 ogres and 1 deception. So unblessed sides kill their unblessed ogres, and for the side with deception, have them lose the buff by punching together and breaking Gahlran's deception shield, then shooting Gahlran's massive green mitts to have him slam down a glaive into the deception. If deceptions don't die in time, you wipe. If crystals don't die in time, you wipe. If ads don't die in time, you wipe. If you can't communicate, you wipe. Wipe. This back and forth battle gave a window of opportunity for teams to catch up, as the final encounter would take around 3 hours to complete for the world's first teams. So after the deception is down on each side, Gahlran hits some hocus pocus and ensues. Slap those hands down and shoot the head to find the real one. Do damage, and that's really the fight. For day one, teams used Outbreak Perfected, not just because nanites were a lot more powerful back then, but actually due to the ammo economy with it. You gotta understand, ammo economy is a huge deal on day one, and even with rally flags in the game now, shredding your heavy was necessary for everything leading up to the boss. So having primary ammo for DPS was a huge save. Rally flags are a luxury that have been provided to teams in year 2, but in year 1, Spire of Stars was hard because of ammo economy, not just because of the fight itself. Something I failed to mention in that video. One thing I should also mention is that Bungie made a seemingly random nerf to Sleeper Simulant's damage. Sleeper had already been nerfed before this, but seeing Gahlran and Sleeper's splash damage, it made plenty of sense for this now. But buff Sleeper, please. It's like beyond bad now. Like, please, beyond light, fix Sleeper. Thank you. Either way, this race was so close, and on the grand stage, only one team could win it all. With the trigger of first place being the raid exotic for every single player, only one team was left to stand.
Yes. 42.
Let's go. Okay.
My
Sif, do
well.
you have a buff?
No.
Do we need a buff?
I have a buff.
We're fine. We don't need
Hands,
buffs.
hands,
Okay,
hands,
okay,
hands,
okay.
hands. Deeps.
Deeps.
I have 30 seconds on buff.
Celestial, let's go, baby.
For deeps.
Throw on us.
Die.
Let's go.
Yes.
Come on.
Oh wait, yeah, he might do some dummy. Oh, watch out!
Find the chest. Chest. It's probably beside him. Up top, maybe? Up top over here? We're dead over
No, it's in front of him.
Where we just killed him.
Grab it!
Grab the shit and
And
get out.
mission
Grab the shit and
complete.
get out. Grab the shit and get out. Who's party lead? Get out.
Let's go! We are shit! Shit! No way! No way! Dude, get out of here! What? No way! Holy shit! Oh my god! Oh my god! No way, dude! No!
Yeah, I'll try to get again. Get it, so much through it.
Just killed all of them before I
It's
could
fine,
tell.
keep going, it's fine.
Hands.
Another well. Empowered?
Howard.
Come on. Please.
Get ready.
Yeah, I'm watching.
It's down.
Whoa.
That is
Get
a
the
big
chest.
hit.
I
What the hell?
think this is it. Just find a chest.
Behind him.
Yeah, bind. Please. Oh god. Come on, please. Who's the leader? Yes! Let's go! Please. Let's go, dude. We have just go, boys! Let's go! Let's go, baby! Good shit!
Dado, extremely sick at the time of the day one raid, had won his first ever day one raid, and Be Bold, who lost Spire of Stars only by a couple of minutes due to this ball throw, won their first ever day one. Wait, who actually won this? I mean, both teams got Teraba, the newest raid exotic weapon that is guaranteed to drop for all 6 members of the first place team. But man, this year really had it out for Dado.
Wait! Holy shit! Oh my god! Holy shit! I can't believe it! Can't believe it! Oh my god! Oh my god! My whole body.
So I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm pretty sure someone has already beat.
No, we got the gun.
Did all of us get it?
All of us got. I got it.
We all just got it.
Well, maybe
That's
you're right.
well, that's first, right? That's first. If everyone gets the gun.
Yes.
Go to tower.
Go to tower.
I mean, all I know is that apparently Bungie tweeted that people got it first.
I feel so bad for math class here since 2402 that was Last Wish, and now this one baiting them in the rest of the Destiny community. But for Be Bold, this was a Cinderella story. Coming off of the last summer raid, Spire of Stars, where they were mere seconds away from world's first. The team of Akata, Esoteric, Big Bad Dave, WN Delirium, Carolina Gamer, and Puns were actually your world's first champions. Gahlran gets jebaited into wearing the crown. Destiny community gets jebaited into thinking one team won world's first. Datto would have some words to follow up on this one on multiple occasions. And man, can you really blame the guy?
So some of you probably know this already, but if you don't, the team who beats the raid first gets the raid exotic. The whole team gets the raid exotic. My team ended up getting the raid exotic. Everyone got it. So we thought we had gotten first place. After finding out that we actually got baited and we got second, we got really sad about it. And I think people kind of took this the wrong way, like a sense of, you know, non-sportsmanship or unsportsmanlike, you know, response or whatever. And that's not it. That's not it at all. We were that sad, we were that kind of devastated because we just had our hearts ripped out thinking that we got first place when we actually didn't. If we had found out that we got second place and nobody got the raid exotic, or maybe one person did, it would have been fine, and my team acknowledges that. It would have been totally fine, and second place is a very good result. It's just the fact that we thought we won when we actually didn't that was so soul-crushing, and that's why we're all kind of sad at the result. But I got some zingers for you.
All right.
I got some hardball ones.
You know, we can get to this. I want to talk to you for a few minutes.
Okay.
First. You've had a pretty eventful week, dude.
Eventful is one way to put it, yeah.
So first, I know I want to talk to you a little bit about the raid, but I want to talk to you about the weekend before.
Okay.
Because so you're battling throat infection. This was like,
yeah,
the raid was like your flu game, your Michael Jordan flu game.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm happy where we placed. We found out that it was actually the closest between first and second in the history of Destiny. And I'm very happy with where we placed and everything. But man, like, you got all these silvers and bronzes, and it's like, yeah, but a gold one would be nice.
Yeah.
One day to put on the mantle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll try next time. I think we got a really solid squad.
You'll have another chance this fall.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I love the way the last two encounters played out, forcing you to move into open space, and especially with Gahlran making absolute chaos around. This raid is up there for one of my favorites of all time. Just forget about the first encounter. So that was Crown of Sorrow on day one, and the loot was pretty split on this one. While the Menagerie had all this beautiful looking loot, Crown had these rusted and broken ass looking weapons. The shotgun, Emperor's Courtesy, which was a Destiny 1 remake, could roll with 1-2 punch and was the best for solo Riven, a challenge that got done not that long after this raid came out. The machine gun was pretty nice, I guess. The scout rifle and the auto rifle, which could roll with Demolitionist, wasn't too bad. But Terrible was the meat of the raid, right? I mean, Anarchy and 1K had come before it, so it must be good. Well, I think it's a balanced weapon, but nothing crazy. Datto has a whole video on this weapon, and I don't have time to sit and debate. It gets revved up and juices out some damage. That's basically it. The gear kind of looked cool, but nothing insane, and the mods could all be earned in the Menagerie after Bungie learned their Scourge of the Past lesson by putting all of the mods in one chest. Hard mode? Yeah, only on day one for contest. Once again, please bring back hard mode to Destiny 2. Just do it. Do it. All in all, that is your Crown of Sorrows raid. The raid that baited the entire Destiny community, and is one that I feel attached to for the final two fights, especially because of the two-man challenges. If you haven't seen how two-man Gahlran gets done, you should definitely watch that. It's one of the most fun fights, and I highly recommend you play it before Beyond Light comes out. This is the final raid that is being sunset, and maybe to be seen soon. I want to leave off with some final words about all of these raids as a whole that are going to be leaving us. I think all of these raids are awesome in their own right, and we'll definitely be getting some much needed love and updates probably in the future. But one thing I couldn't help thinking this whole time replaying them for these videos was, I want a reason to be here other than piecing their community stories together. I want Bungie to give me a reason to play these raids again one day, and I think it'll come in due time, but man, I'm gonna miss them, and I'm excited for when they do come back. If you guys did enjoy this video, a like would be greatly appreciated, as well as a subscription. 150k did happen before November 10th, so hey, maybe 200k will happen sooner than I think. Who knows? Thank you guys so much for watching. Seriously, thank you for watching here and on Twitch. It means a ton, and have a great rest of your day. Peace out, everybody.
Lunge towards you, dude. Where's he going?
Where is my man's, dude? What the?
I hit him. Oh, I'm dead.
What the f was that? Stream.
Literally.
Come swap. Come swap, see?
What the?
I'll try boop them away from you guys a bit.
Oh!
I guess we get him this time. Hold on. Where did you go, Frank?
Oh, clip it.
Get him
Someone
or we
clip
lose.
it.
Get him or we lose.
Someone please clip that.